Hello, welcome to SEE Blissfully-lit Podcast. I'm your host, Sammy, and today we have amazing Ruben Torres with us. He is an insurance agent and currently resides in the Chicago area, enjoys nature and sports, hiking, mountain climbing, and those are some of his favorite activities that really bring him a lot of joy and happiness. We actually met through the Pranic Healing community and have built and cultivated a really awesome friendship. And I'm so excited to have you here with us today. Thank you for joining us for the podcast. Before we get any deeper, I'd love for you to introduce yourself and maybe share a little bit that you'd like our listeners to know.
Yeah, so I was born in Colombia, South America. That's where the sexy accent comes from. Just kidding. And then I moved to the States like 21 years ago. And I remember since I was a kid, I think I must have been like 15 or 16, and I just started asking like, okay, what is the purpose of life? Like, why am I here? I was born and raised Catholic, and I remember at some point, like, I really enjoy going to church. I really enjoy like what is it that God wants me to do? Like, what am I doing? What is everybody doing? Like, you study, you go to school, you find a job, and then you start a family, and then what happens? Like, is there anything else that you're supposed to be doing? So that was kind of how I started searching for different kind of spiritual answers, so to speak. And like I said, at some point, I even wanted to become a Catholic church. That was interesting because I was dating somebody at the time, and it was like a serious relationship. And so that's how it got started. And then the story goes from there. So I'll just let you kind of guide the conversation. But that's a little bit about me. I love sports. I grew up playing soccer and tennis. To this day, I still love running and like you were saying, like hiking. It's like I'm a Capricorn. I'm a goat. I love the mountains. I live in Chicago, which is really flat. That's the only thing that this wonderful city is missing. Just the hills and the mountains. So every chance I get to go like Hawaii, like we were in Hawaii a couple of weeks ago, a couple of months ago, and just like, hey, there's a mountain. I need to climb it. It's like a need in my being, in my body. And it was really interesting because they have like wild goats in the island, and I was like, "Hey, there's my people! Like this is like hey, let's go climb the mountains together." So I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
I
interesting
remember that.
how astrologically that happens. That really pulls you in some way. Even I was never really big into astrology, but I was like, "Holy cow, this actually makes sense." Um,
I
uh,
relate to that actually. Um, I am a Pisces and I actually found my natural element when we were in Hawaii too. I was getting in the water in the bay
oh,
and I was just swirling around and enjoying the water and sea turtle was just swimming up to me. I was
oh
like,
wow,
"Hi, sea turtle."
that's so cool.
But I could just float in salt water for hours.
Wow, that
And
is
Pisces is a fish, so
there you go. There you go. So interesting. Yeah, so interesting that people that are fire signs, they're attracted to fire and earth and stuff. Like is there, is tangible. Like you don't have to go really deep into astrology. Just go there and then you see how much it really shapes your personality. It's absolutely there.
it's
Super
super
cool.
intriguing.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing that bit about yourself and the start of your spiritual journey, it sounds like. I'd love to hear what you believe or define magic as, and how does it play a role in your journey?
Wow, for me, magic, and actually, this comes from one of our spiritual teachers. Just when you understand energy, once you understand that everything is energy, and I've been to Joe Dispenza retreats and done all kinds of meditations. I had Reiki done on me and stuff like that. Understanding that everything is energy, and we're given the opportunity to move energy in a way that helps and shapes our lives. That to me is the definition of magic. and everything that happens in your life, like if you're fully awake, fully conscious, every single person that you come across in the elevator, every single interaction that you have out in the street, if you start to find a deeper meaning and purpose to what happening, that's when I start saying like I had a magical day, like I was aware of everybody and everything as being connected, as being part of the oneness, but at the same time bringing a message to me. Maybe something I need to learn, or maybe something that is I'm doing right and I need to do more of, like volunteering or helping. So that to me, when you're fully anchored in the spiritual path, then everything is magic. Everything is magical. Everything has a meaning in terms of energy, and it's because we're given the tools to move that to me is what magic is. That would be
Thank
my definition,
you.
a long definition of magic.
What a beautiful definition, and it makes a ton of sense to me, especially being on the path and also working with the tools that our teacher has provided us.
Yeah.
Uh, I do have one question. When you describe those events and what happens when you're kind of in that flow throughout the day and aware of these different changes, what are some signs for you that you really can tell that things are going well, that you're doing, taking actions in a way that is leading toward your goal or toward your purpose?
That's pretty interesting. Usually when I jump in my car and I'm being aware that I'm one with everybody and everything, and I just love life and love God and everything. Every single interaction that I have with people is just kind people. It's interesting. I don't never get angry at like at work. Oh, this person cuts me off, or there's this difficult person, or somebody was in a bad mood in a grocery store, like the cashier or something. Like I don't encounter that when just expecting when I'm just projecting love to everybody is the most interesting thing. Every single interaction that I have with somebody, everybody has a smile, everybody's happy, even though I live in a big city, which sometimes living in a big city, like everybody's rushing, so everybody's kind of a little bit aggressive. Everybody needs to get to their place, and but when I'm fully conscious and fully aware, that's all I encounter. Just kind people, and everybody's happy. Everybody's willing to help me. If I have a question in a grocery store, the person will walk me to the item that I'm looking for, and with a smile on their face and everything. I was like, wow, this is amazing. I just need to project love and be happy and be grateful, and that's all I attract. All that it comes back. So I'm just fully aware, because that's not me 100% of the time. I'll be lying if there's no moments in my life where I'm stressed out. I'm worrying about this deal with a client or anything like that. And that's what you bring. You bring all the stressed out people that comes to you and start sending you that energy back, and you'll say, wait, looks like I'm receiving what I'm projecting. Maybe I should shift my energy, shift my perspective to this situation that I have in a home or at work. And that's the type of people that I'm going to encounter. So it's going to make my life easier that way. So being conscious of that is just amazing. Like I think that if you're truly honest and responsible in your own actions, when you see that you're attracting difficult people to your lives, that's part of you that needs to be resolved. That's part of you that you're projecting that. That's why you're getting a mirror from somebody else to what you need to be changing on yourself. So so just bumping into a difficult person, it's just a wake up call for me. It has nothing to do with them. It's like I won't start criticizing or judging that person. I was being really mindful of this on the retreat that we were having in Hawaii. That okay, maybe I was really annoyed by this person doing this or saying this, and I was like, wait, what is that for me? Is it something that they need to teach me, or something that I need to change on my attitude? So yeah, just that awareness. It just completely kind of changes your life and your perspective when you start seeing that everything that is happening for you is around you is for you to wake up and to open your eyes to, hey, maybe I'm projecting the wrong energy, or maybe I'm projecting the right energy, and everything that is happening in my life is magical. So we can shift it, we can change that.
Yeah, it's really beautiful actually when you start to harness the awareness and take the time for that inner reflection and that personal work. And honestly, it doesn't take very much time every single day. And before you know it, it's a habit. And
Yeah.
you just do it throughout the day when you're meeting with people, when you're talking to people, when you're going to the gas station to get a coffee, or, you just
Yeah.
Oh, wow, what a beautiful experience. And then before you know it, that's, you know, starting to reflect into coworkers and other people that you spend time with. One thing that I really recognized when I was still working in the corporate world, uh, was they all wrote me a card, like when I left, and a lot of the notes in the card were, "You made such an impact on this office. You made such an impact on my life," and just the way that you hold yourself and the way that you would talk to people and would arrive to situations really changed the way that I see situations and the way that I think. And you wouldn't really realize that you working on yourself and just showing up in a different way could make that big of an impact until people tell you, unless, unless you're really paying attention. And I mean, sometimes we're paying attention, but sometimes, we're just kind of living our life and we're happy, we're content, we're fulfilled, we're doing our thing, and we don't really realize the deeper impact that it's making in all these different people's lives. And it can be really, really transformative for others.
Yeah. Yeah, imagine if you're fully conscious that that the energy that you're projecting is affecting everybody around you. So how do you want to affect it? You want to affect it with a stressed out energy, with something that is going on in your personal life that is making your energy a little bit denser that day? Or you want to shift that before you walk into an office or before you walk into any place and say, hey, let me change this. I have the power to change my reaction and to change my perspective on everything that is happening in my life. What if what I project on or project to other people is that kindness and that loving and that good sense of humor? I always try to go back to the sense of humor, because if you're always being funny, if you're always goofy, if you're never taking things seriously, like whatever emergencies happen at work or at home, you're like, okay, well, I just have to deal with this, and I just find the lesson. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're like you said, you don't even know what you're doing to people around you. You're like really changing their lives by just doing something differently with yours, with your perspective. So
Yeah.
being mindful of that is super powerful.
It is so powerful. And I see it reflected in your actions all the time. I am always inspired by how kind, how loving, how giving and generous you always are. I've learned a lot just in being your friend for, gosh, has it been like a year or two now?
1 or 2 years. I want to say Healer's Mastery was about 2023 or something. I remember that was my first one. That's when
Yeah.
I met you and like 4 or 5 of my best friends to this day. It was an astrological, really everything compiled. We all got together at the same time, the same place. I think it was here in Oak Brook, Illinois, and just everybody that I met at that event, it's just been wonderful. It's been like brothers and sisters on the path. So it's just wonderful what happens when you're willing to receive and open yourself up to like, okay, what's next for me? Like God, I know I was looking for something. I remember that Heroes Mastery. I think it was July 2023, if I'm not mistaken. I was part of a spiritual school for many years, the teachings of the Ascended Masters for many years. And then I had just gone to Joe Dispenza retreat. So I have followed these different schools in my mind. And I was like, oh my gosh, I love Pranic Healing. I love Joe Dispenza. I love the teachings of the Ascended Masters. But I know I need to just kind of focus on one. Like I know there's spiritual tools that I need. So like, which way do I go? So I was noticing a couple of differences here and there. And I kept praying and I kept meditating. And then every time I will pray and meditate, God, which one is the school that my soul needs to grow from? Where is the school that has the tools that I need in this specific path? It could change. I'm open to like, okay, maybe this is what I need now. Like I was born and raised Catholic. I have huge love and respect to the Catholic Church. I just heard that they actually elected a new pope today from Chicago. So I was like, wow, okay. So it's kind of magical. Like it's never happened. So yeah, the new pope is from Chicago. That's where I am right now. So that's kind of interesting. And then I got all the experiences and all the knowledge and all the Bible readings from there, and then I can move in from this thing to the next. And then at that Healer's Mastery, I was doing a lot of praying, and then what came back to me was community. Like, do you have a community with these teachings of the Ascended Masters? Do you have a community with Joe Dispenza? Do you have a community with Pranic Healing? And I had yoga, and I was like, wow, the community of Pranic Healing and Hatha Yoga is amazing. Like that's when I met you and a lot of people from different places, Minnesota, California, and my local community here in Chicago. And I was like, this is it. This is what I need to be. That was my answer. And it was community. And it was actually at that event. So I'm super grateful. And once you start connecting the dots, once you start to be in that once you start appreciating everything that has happened to your life, even the difficult situations, and you start connecting the dots, you can see that you've been guided. Like the angels been taking you from like here to here. Now you're here. Now you're here. Now you meet this person. Now you go to this event, and you'll understand why in the future. So I think this is one of those moments when you understand why. Oh, in the
Yeah,
future, years later, yeah.
it's really it's intriguing when you look back at it
Yeah.
and reflect. I'm just remembering that timeline too, and I Healer's Mastery was a big turning point for me as well, back in 2023, and I was figuring out where my next path was after having been divorced for like a year and determining, my own life path. And one of the best things about Pranic Healing was at that point, I found my community and I found really trusting, amazing friends and leaders and people who I can trust. I can go to and I can ask for guidance when I need it. And it's usually very, very useful guidance. And it's not telling me what to do, but it's giving me the opportunity to choose what to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that that's really huge in transformation and in your journey. As someone who inspires change, what messages do you generally try to convey to others for them to grow and learn and evolve?
Interesting. I've been having some people approach me that are going through some difficult situations. So somehow they see me as somebody that can, I don't know, read books and go to meditation retreats. And the first thing that I tell them is like, if you're laying down in bed, if you're someplace and then you have all of these thought forms and all of these emotions and all of these negative kind of conversations in your mind, the first thing that you need to do is get up and walk. And if it's like in the middle of the day or in a time of the day that you can go and be in nature, I remember hearing, I don't know if it was from Joe Dispenza or somebody that said that it is impossible to be stressed out in nature. Like if you're surrounded by trees and animals, it is impossible for you to be in a state where you're depressed or you're anxious or you're worrying about money or you're worrying about relationships, you're worrying about your situation at work. You just start walking and start breathing air, and automatically cleanses you. It just cleanses your energy automatically. That is absolutely the best cure, more so than any vitamin or anything that you could do, or even sometimes breathing exercises, because if you're staying still, you're still there, you're still in that thing. You have to move and you start to clean stuff out of your aura. And I find that going in nature, that's the best thing. So every time somebody approach me, because not all the time I can suggest, okay, just do this energetic exercise or do this yoga pose or do this breathing exercise, right? Because not everybody's open. Some people are in different places in their belief system and everything like that. So what I say, just go do that. And if I have the time myself, I go with it. So say, hey, let's just go and walk. Like how many miles can you walk? I can walk all day long. I've done the Grand Canyon hike, rim to rim 4 times. I could just hike all day. This is my happy place. I'm not getting tired. Let's just go. So that's what I always recommend for people. Now, if you're a little bit more open, then I will start giving them some breathing exercises. Just hold your breath for 6 times, and then just breathe in 6 times, hold it 6 times, or three, or whatever is the combination at a time. So that's usually what I recommend for somebody that just needs a message and approach me at a specific time. So I kind of see where they're coming from. I kind of see like, okay, are you open to something kind of spiritually related, or you're just looking for something that you can do? And then, hey, let's just go for a walk on nature.
Yeah, I relate to that a lot. Nature walks are huge for me. And especially this week, we are in the week leading up to one of the biggest full moon, well, the biggest full moon of the year, and we call it the Wesak full moon,
Uh,
um, where a lot of spiritual energy is pouring down. And oftentimes, people who have different life struggles, those can kind of feel a little more intensified. And one of my leaders recommended that we spend more time outside this week. And I was like, you don't have to tell me twice. I love outside. And I found that it's been really, really soothing to get outside a little extra, and it just clears your head. And I really like that you recommend pranayama to people, breathing exercises. As a yoga teacher, pranayama can be so relaxing. It can just calm the nervous system in general and help get people out of that fight or flight response, which is really a first step in finding, just stillness, or maybe a quietness in the day, de-stressing, which is one of the first steps in finding clarity.
Yeah.
So I would like to know, do you have any daily practices that you find essential for you staying connected and inspired?
Yeah. I think mindfulness, just sitting back, and sometimes we're just in autopilot, right? With our thoughts and our commitments and our Google Calendar, we just go in autopilot, right? And at work, sometimes we get a lot of stuff done that way, like just by our routine. But if you can sit back and then just kind of observe and say, hey, listen, let's be mindful of what's going on. Am I being conscious of my thoughts and my words and my emotions and the energy that I'm projecting at the time? So that's the one thing that I try to do every single day. Um, I get up and I do a quick prayer. I just ask God, however you want to call it, or whatever spiritual teachers or belief system that you have. Just thank you for another day that I'm here in embodiment. I'm learning and growing. I'm working out through negative karma, and trying to create good karma every single day. Thank you for the healing energies, and thank you for the prosperity energies. If it's like Monday to Friday that I'm going to the office and see clients. So that's the first thing that I do. And then from there, like you were saying, if I can work out my schedule to do breathing exercises, physical exercises, and then some kind of meditation and some kind of either pranic healing exercises or hatha yoga exercises. That's what I try to do. We have a schedule. I'm not always able to get to that. I'll be honest with you. There are some days where life just goes by, and it's just difficult. I have a son. He's 5.5. So sometimes my spare time, we just go to a playground or to a trampoline park, and that's my spare time for the day. So I'm not able to get to all of my practices, but just mindfulness and waking up and having that conversation with God, having that gratitude. That's always there. That's the one thing that I never miss.
Yeah, and consistency
Yeah,
really
yeah,
creates a strong practice.
mhm. Totally, yes.
It's so great. Thank you for sharing all those details. For someone who's maybe not familiar with pranic healing, how would you describe, you brought up karma. How would you describe those aspects of karma, of good karma and bad karma that you brought up?
Oh my gosh, how many hours do we have to answer that question? Studying karma for so many years. For me, I mean, karma is a word that comes from Sanskrit, which is like kind of all Indian language. Is like when we say Latin, comes from this word in Latin, and then from there we have English and Spanish and different languages. So it kind of means consequence. Like everything that you do creates a consequence in your life, something that kind of comes back to you. And and I know I mentioned the word negative and positive karma, but when you can see it from like a 10,000 foot viewpoint, and you see, okay, well, there's no positive or negative. It's just a consequence. It's just like something that if what you did to somebody else, if you were hurtful, if you were sending an energy that was a little bit strong, and now you're encountering somebody else when you're driving or when you go to the office that is giving you the same energy, sometimes we just get really quick to judge and criticize that person. But when we sometimes say, hey, I remember the same thing that this person is doing to me, I did it to this other person or this other family member last year or 5 months ago. So I'm just learning what it feels to receive that energy from somebody else, right? And it could be like I was saying, if I'm in a mindset of being kind and grateful and smiling at people, and everybody's doing that to me, that's also a consequence. That's also a karma that is coming back to me. So basically, which one do you want, right? Is the golden rule: do unto others what you want others to do unto you, right? So it's just a reminder. For me, the word karma is a reminder of what I project, I receive. And you can go deeper to like really difficult situations and accidents and stuff like that, and that's when it gets complicated, and different embodiments and reincarnation. But just to keep it simple, I will say a consequence, a return of the energy that you projected. Now it's coming back to you. Do you want other people to come back and be kind and be helpful and go and extend their hand and help you with a favor that you need? Or you want difficult people that are gonna be there and realize that you created that? Sometimes we start blaming and we start saying, judging other people and say, oh, this person did this to me and I could be doing better at work, or I could have gotten that promotion, but this other person that does this or that got it instead of me. So you can do that, right? And when we do it all the time, so sometimes I fall into that myself still. But then I realize, wait, this is something that I created myself. And if I don't like it, then I have the power to change it. I just need to project a different energy. So that is karma to me. Just the energy that I project is coming back to me. Which one do I want?
Yeah, and I really feel like when you bring up the what you give and what you receive, it goes back to the virtues that we actually practice in our Hatha yoga, which the virtues are in all pranic healing books.
Mhm.
Anyone can reflect on these virtues. But I find that when you practice those,
Mhm.
typically really good returns come back. So, um, loving kindness, non-injury,
Yeah.
honesty and lying, generosity and non-stealing, moderation, non-excessiveness, and constancy of aim and effort, and non-laziness.
Mhm.
And some of them are really subtle and you don't really recognize that you're maybe not practicing it so much, or maybe there's some old habit that you picked up from childhood that you didn't really recognize
Yeah.
was maybe like a form of laziness, or
Yeah.
a form of um, like anger, or um, maybe like feeling less generous, or wanting to hold on to things. So in recognizing those within yourself, you can actually see what you're sending people, sometimes unconsciously,
Yeah.
and recognize, oh wow, uh I didn't really know why this was happening to me, and now look.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And moderation sometimes. Sometimes I think we let our kind of our physical bodies, our lower nature, our animal nature kind of take over, and then you go a little bit excessive with food and different stuff, and you don't realize that until like you start getting some kind of consequences, like a health condition or something like that, and that's when you realize, oh wow, yeah, I need to be more balanced. And it's interesting because, like you were saying, we're in the Wesak cycle, and the main teaching from Buddha is kind of walking the middle path, just being the balance. I think the story goes that he was an ascetic, so he was fasting for months and months at a time. They think that they needed to master hunger and the needs of their physical body because they were energy, they were souls. And then he was so hungry that he couldn't meditate. He couldn't go deep. He couldn't have a deep meditation because it still has a body. It's like you're the soul, you're the driver, and you have your car. Your car is telling you need gasoline. You're running on low. You have 0 miles to empty. You still want to keep driving. And eventually, it's going to stop. And you're
Yeah.
saying, "Hey, I need to get to my destination. How come my car, my physical body is not taking me to where I need to be?" So I think there was like a little girl that was learning how to play some kind of guitar, some kind of string instrument, and then she gave me like a bowl of rice, and then he ate, and then he realized, oh, you have to practice moderation, you have to have the middle way, you have to have balance in your life, like eat a little, fast a little, and then that's how you can go into deeper meditation. So So sometimes we forget that, and sometimes we swing the other way. Sometimes we get really strict, like we don't never eat an ice cream because it could have sugar or whatever, and we never enjoy life. We're always like, oh my gosh, yeah, I don't eat meat, I don't eat sugar, I don't eat this, I don't do that, I don't laugh, I don't smile. I'm always like either praying or meditating or just working, and then you just go. So just come back, just have that swing of the pendulum back to the middle and the middle way, and that's kind of what push you forward.
Yeah, I like that you mentioned that and staying on the middle path because there is a certain degree of every one of those virtues that it's okay to have a little bit of expression. For instance, if someone does you wrong and really hurts you, I mean, it's okay to have some anger. It's not okay to lash out and hurt somebody, but it's okay to be upset and to have that moment for that. Maybe not to hold on to it and carry it forever, but it's okay to express yourself and that helps to keep, your body in balance. And if you this is something I'm actually learning myself is if you don't express certain emotions, I mean, those are just going to get stored inside your energetic body and they can eventually cause your physical body issues if you continually don't do anything about it. And something to do with spiritual practice, a lot of different modalities, I would say I think it's in yoga. There's a lot of um, we don't need money and we're just gonna live our life in service and uh,
Yeah,
you can't really live like that. I mean, I guess if you want to go live in a monastery and live out that sort of a life, but to an extent, you do have to put your feet on the ground and run and get a job, work,
yeah,
earn money. Um, like you said with fasting,
yeah,
how are you gonna practice spiritually if your body's like falling apart?
exactly, exactly.
There,
Yeah,
there are two
yeah.
sides to the duality of life.
hmm That's interesting because I mean, for some of us that believe in reincarnation and we believe that we've have different lifetimes before. If you think about money in society, there were times in history where there was money wasn't as important. Like we just go someplace else, and if we are a healer or we are a spiritual person, we share some wisdom and then they will feed us, right? They will give us a sustenance. We'll get to spend some time in their house and move on to the next village. So you didn't really need money. So sometimes you carry that old momentum from the past, and now you're here, and now society has changed, but you're still thinking the way you were thinking back then. So there's an adjustment that you need to realize. Well, now is different. Now I can have a spiritual person. I can volunteer. I can donate, but I still need to go out there and as a learning opportunity, figure out what is prosperity, what is abundance, what is this form of energy that we call money, right?
Mhm.
And I see it just as an experiment. It's just like a laboratory where you're learning alchemy. Okay, I'm here now. My bank account has this much money. What can I do to get it to have more money so I can pay my bills, so I can donate, so I can serve, so I can go on a spiritual retreat, uh, so I can do other stuff. So I see it as a learning opportunity. Just that, unfortunately, because we've been doing this for so many other lifetimes where we didn't need money. Now that we're here, we're adjusting to it, and we think, no, that's outside of the spiritual path, and it's not at all. Like you can do, like we were saying, a lot of really good karma, so to speak. You can help feed a lot of hungry people. You can build houses for people that need it, and you need money for that, and it's a great opportunity. And like I said, that's something that I'm grateful, and I always tell God every morning, thank you for keeping me here in embodiment where I can grow and I can serve. Because once I leave this body, then I'm in this other place where I'm not able to kind of balance as much negative karma or create as much of good karma. So this is an opportunity. This is like you're not always here with a body where you can do this. So I just being mindful is just a reminder that really helps me to be mindful and make the most of it of every day.
Yeah. And it's so incredible that you've actually found a profession where you help people in that arena of their finances and
Yeah.
that financial wellness. It can be very vital to um one, we have the basic chakra of the body, which some people call the root chakra. And in psychology, it's like the bottom of the I believe it's a triangle, and it's one of the most basic needs that you need to meet to, have psychological wellness and feel safe in your life. And a lot of people don't have that. And to build that strong and to have that strong base structure is really vital for wellness in this physical plane and living our lives in this beautiful lifetime that we get to cherish. So, as we begin to wrap up here, I'd like to know, what is your next big aspiration on your journey of conscious transformation?
Wow, that is a difficult one. I'm actually going through like a detox. I'm doing like some vitamins and some kind of stuff that I'm doing to detox actually my physical body, but um it has the component of like there's some like emotional stuff that you're also supposed to release. There's this product that I'm taking right now that um has been it was put in a room where they were playing like Tibetan sutras and stuff like that, and it's supposed to help you release. And it was helping me remind myself, like we're going back to Pranic Healing, like sometimes giving more energy is not always the answer. Sometimes we all have energy that flows through us, but sometimes there might be a blockage, like something emotional, something physical. So I've been more mindful of that moderation that we were talking about earlier. Um, so that's kind of the process that I'm going through. I realized that I haven't practiced a lot of moderation when it comes to maybe eating. I love ice cream and I love like sweet stuff. So maybe, hey, yeah, I do work out, I do sports, but maybe I eat a lot. So maybe have a balance with that, and that's gonna help you. That's gonna help you have a stronger body, have a stronger mind. So that's kind of what I'm learning, and so going through the process. Yes, it's my physical body. I need to take care of my health, but at the same time, it's like this is an experiment. This is an opportunity to grow on my decision-making process. That's even way more important than everything else because that kind of mastery that you gain from that. So that's kind of something that I'm doing in the short term because Wesak is coming up, and I've been thinking about this process for years. Outside of that, I've been thinking a lot of service and kind of like tied in the sense that you give a little bit of whatever money you're receiving, but at the same time, your talent and your treasure. Like if I have a talent, if I have an ability to be efficient, right? How can I go to some non-for-profit and then you'll say, hey, you guys could be more efficient if you do things this way. I think my brain works that way when I'm good with details like that. And also my time for volunteering and helping. Like I've been blessed enough that where I can support some not-for-profits financially, but what if I can do more with my time and my talent? So that's kind of my long-term kind of goal that I have on the spiritual path. And an invitation that I have for everybody watching your show is like, how can you give a little bit more of yourself to others, right? How can you find that opportunity for growth? And know that you're planning for this, but then as you're doing that, you have so many people that are gonna come to your life and be so helpful with what you need, maybe financially, maybe you're trying to figure out how to invest, how to find another job, how to have the abundance consciousness. So it was interesting because I was sharing with a friend of mine in Florida, couple of websites and platforms where you can find some online jobs and stuff like that. And then I met these other guys that were telling me how to invest in a platform where you can do some investments in the stock market and stuff like that. It just happened kind of like the same week. Hey, there I am helping my friend do something like this, and then there's this other person that his net worth is way higher than mine, helping me get to them. So it was just like like a confirmation of how quickly that can happen and how tangible it is that what you give, you receive.
Yeah,
So being more mindful of that in terms of volunteering and service is kind of what I do for my own personal growth. That's kind of the plan.
that is so amazing. Thank you for sharing those details and how wonderful that you saw that result so quickly. I've I've also experienced similar results, uh, more so with teaching yoga and doing different kinds of body work type of modalities. I'm sure I've seen it in other places, but it's just something that comes up right away to me. Sometimes when you help people physically, you start to feel better physically too. And I mean, it may sound really strange, but try it out and you might be surprised. So I'd like to know where our listeners can follow your work or connect with you if they are interested.
Yeah, I can share my social media. It's mostly personal at this point. What I feel is that I'm in a place of I've been to many spiritual schools. I've been to many places. I've read a lot of books. I've been able to share something that has helped me and somehow is helpful to other people. So I'm starting to do a little bit of more of that on social media and places like that. So yeah, I would love to share uh those contacts with you, and maybe yeah, you can put it at the bottom or somewhere in this link, so you can also share with people. Yeah, whatever I can do to help. I'm always growing and learning and always learning from our spiritual teachers. But I think that as you sometimes as you share or teach, so to speak, then you're also learning yourself more that concept, and then somebody else is going to help you get to the next level. So I remember thinking for the longest time, I was like, well, until I have this master, until I'm a multimillionaire, I don't want to share anything that has helped me become get to this level of abundance. And then I started thinking, no, you don't need to be here to teach somebody that is here. Just share whatever it is at your level, and then somebody else has helped you pull over here. So I'm realizing that I need to do a little bit more of that. I feel like I've gained some kind of decent level of mastery. Like I'm a happy person. I'm an abundant person. I have a nice job. I have a nice life. So I think that there's people that would love to trade places with me. So hey, let me share what helped me get to this place, and hopefully something that I share will help you. So yeah, I'm actually planning on doing more of that, more of what you're doing yourself. So I'm really grateful for the opportunity to share and to kind of tell people a little bit of, hey, this is the experience, this is what I did, and this is what got me here, like a happy person and a prosperous person, and somebody that wants to help and somebody that sees joy every single day in everybody. So yeah, I'll share with you my contact as well. If somebody wants to reach out and want to ask me a question, I would love to share and to help in any way.
Thank you so much, Ruben. It's been a pleasure having you on here. And Ruben is a wealth of knowledge. I have to tell you, every time that we spend time together, we not only sing, because
There's a lot,
who doesn't love
yeah, I
singing
love singing, yes.
some great rock music?
Yeah, we
Uh,
happen to like some of the same music, so it's super fun.
we always have to sing, but he always has some wealth of knowledge that really ignites me and helps me to learn and grow. And I think that the more you connect with people that light you up, the more that you grow and they grow. And all of a sudden, you just realize how much more you can give and how much more you can receive in life, and how beautiful life can truly be when you take control and start living it. So thank you so much, Ruben. It's been really inspiring hearing about your journey. I will share your information in the description below. Anyone who wants to connect with Ruben, I'm sure he would love to. And
Yeah.
thank you so much. It's been such a
Thank
pleasure.
you so much, Abby. Great talking to you.
Thank you to the listeners. Before we go, I like to do one final thing. Uh, I'll just have, if you're in a safe space, to close your eyes. If you're driving, don't do this. But go ahead and close your eyes. Take a couple of deep breaths into your belly You can breathe through your nose. And just notice the nervous system slowing down with each breath. Noticing the muscles of the body with each exhale, allowing any muscles that are contracting to relax a little bit further. And stop paying attention to the breath and just allow the breath to flow naturally. Maintaining the eyes closed, bring your gaze up toward your forehead. Continuing with that slow, soft breath. You might recognize a point of light. Just finding that calm and that light and that space of quiet. And it is in this space that we connect. Slowly bring your gaze back through center. As you're ready, you can softly open your eyes. The big, big smile. Wiggling the fingers, wiggling the toes. Allowing your breath to regulate. And recognizing the feet. Imagining roots of light coming down through your feet. Connecting you to the earth. And then reflecting on how you feel in this moment. Recognizing that this is within you at all times. You have access to this at every moment of your life. You can always return to this episode if you want to redo this practice on your own. Thank you for joining us today. And we'll close with a little tune. Thank you. Stay blissfully lit.